It's no secret that the floods were devastating in the past few days. And by the looks of the weather, we might be in for a second round too. But for now, today, we were supposed to go to Temerloh. This is the route hunter's journey of going through the LPT highway after the flood waters have receded with our trusty Peugeot 3008. Let's find out what is the true condition of Temerloh and Mentakab and the LPT highway today. There's nothing much to report on the first part of the LPT highway, except for some overcast clouds. The traffic was normal, the road conditions were normal, there was no telltale signs of landslide or any signs of what the weather had been in the past few days. But after the tunnel, you can actually see telltale signs. It wasn't apparent at first, but as we went further downhill, you can actually see pieces of land that has actually fallen down on the slopes, trees falling down. These are all minor telltale signs, but they can actually turn out into violent events with sudden landslides. You can actually see signs of them on the right hand side of the hill slope as we drive past. More signs were apparent, especially after the Bukit Tinggi exit, where you can actually see more trees have fallen, more severe signs of landslide that has actually taken place. Just a little bit of storm will actually cause a catastrophic result. There were already very graphic reminders of how bad the landslides were the last time the rains hit this area. But the real flood damages showed its face after the Bentong toll as we go towards the Kara exit. Here you can actually see on the side of the road the amount of mud that has actually been washed to the side. And it was more clear when we started to look at how the river that runs next to the LPT looked like. It used to be lush and you barely can see the water surface, but right now it looks like the aftermath of a tsunami or a volcano explosion. You can actually see that this is definitely more than just flood waters. It definitely would have been landslide or trees falling through. We reckon that this effect is not just by the water alone. It's definitely more than that, probably dirt or mudslide that has been washed away from erosion elsewhere. Whatever it is, it was bloody scary to look at. Now those going past the Mempaga exit towards the east, bear in mind that there's a contraflow on the LPT towards the Kara exit because there's a part of the exit which has been damaged. Traffic was kind of packed though, because you have to come all the way to the Kara toll to make a U-turn in order to enter Kara town proper. We saw telltale signs of how high the water had actually risen on the LPT highway itself, like here, kilometer 113 to 115, just before the Temerloh exit. You can actually still see the mud that is on the road. If you look at the tree lines, you'll actually see how high the water has actually risen. And if you count for parallax error, which is objects looking smaller in the distance, water level was at least a meter high from the highway road surface itself. And this is the reason why the LPT was actually shut for days. If you're passing by this stretch, please be careful. There might be still debris on the road, but we believe that the LPT authorities will have it cleaned very soon. One thing we did see from the start of the LPT highway after the Gombak toll all the way to Temerloh town was tons of SUVs with food supplies, drinking water, cleaning water, as well as even boats stuck to their roof that have come all the way from different parts of the country to aid the people of Pahang. The Kita Jaga Kita spirit is legit, guys. Temerloh town had undergone a lot of damages due to the floods. Lots of shops were closed, lots of eateries were shut down, petrol stations were shut down, and people have just started cleaning up and begun trying to start back their normal lives. But as far as the urban area is concerned, you can actually drive around Temerloh because the flood waters have receded and most of the path is actually clear. Even the section underneath the Temerloh bridge is actually free of flood waters and debris. This is a hot spot that usually gets flooded first. Since it was already dark by the time we reached Temerloh, we went to Mentakab only the next day. Mentakab has only just begun recovering from the floods, and you can actually see a lot more graphic examples of how much damage the town has actually undergone. But Not like Temerloh, most of the places are now dry and the cleaning process has actually begun. You can safely travel into Temerloh and Mentakab at the moment. And if you wish to extend your help to them, these people really need it. First it was the 2 pandemics and now this devastating flood. Hopefully things are better in 2022. Although the recovery process has begun, Met Malaysia has issued another storm warning for the 30th to the 2nd for this particular region. Things have already kicked off in Kajang. Hopefully, Temerloh and Mentakab can actually survive the second round. We can only pray.